We're now part 3 of the differential project. We've unwrapped it. We're going to check the paint quality of this stuff and see if there's any little touch-ups that we need to do. So far everything looks great. I'm really impressed with the product and the finish. I think it's really going to help this car last a long time. There's a couple parts I didn't account for, which is the sway bar bushing mounts. I also got some sway bar end links, which are also polyurethane, and the sway bar itself needs to be cleaned up to go along with this.
Fortunately, it's a little bent. I'm going to have to use the one from the 82, it looks like. I did manage to clean up the steering bar off camera, and now we'll move on to the polyurethane bushings.
As you can see here, this is the Watts linkage set. A nice beautiful red, of course, to offset this black. We've got also the, looks to be, what does it say here? It's the 4-link rear end. So we've got all of this stuff here, I guess goes into these. We've got 8 total. And the idea is that this sandwich is in between the two. Here and the other side. This rod goes in between. So far so good. Let's try and slap some of these together.
And here we have the finished product. Unfortunately, I left the memory card out of the camera, so I can't show you how I did this, but I will show you on the next one. This center shaft is actually incorrect. I was able to contact Energy Suspension, and they were able to send me out a new piece. I'm just waiting for that to come in to change this piece out. The finish looks great. I can't wait to put these on. I think it's going to really stiffen up the ride. Next, we'll clean up the stabilizer bar mounts. These turned out great as well. I'm going to go ahead and throw a second coat of paint on this off camera. And right now you're going to see us head into the axles. And we'll get those cleaned up. I've had the bearings pressed in by someone else. Unfortunately, I don't have a bearing press. I would recommend, though, if you're going to try this, remove the bearings first before cleaning up these items. We're going to try and wrap them with tape and poly to see if we can stop anything getting in the bearings, and that's what we're going to do next.
without acting alone.
This drive shaft was made by Ottawa Driveshaft here locally. They replaced both the yoke and the mount at the other side. Also added small Dodge U-joints, which are now serviceable. It looks great. I'm going to take the paint off of this and add a new coat of this POR 15. I think it'll keep it from chipping as well.
Without acting alone. Without having no soul.
We're going to be removing the existing seals that are in there, cleaning out this casing, and finally installing the pieces that we've rebuilt here. There's going to be some touch-up paint that's going to need to be done. I've got a little bit of paint that got on the bearing and stuff I'm going to have to remove. But pretty exciting day. We're going to be assembling the limited slip as well as putting the axles in. Hopefully sealing this thing up so we don't risk any more dust getting in there. I'm not sure if I'll put any oil in it right away. I think just for now, until we install it, we'll leave the oil out of it in case it does drip out when I put it upstairs. This is going to need another second coat of paint, but I think once it's together I'll be able to tape it off. It should be fine. So without any more delay, let's get this started. And now that we've got the axle seals out, we're going to go ahead and clean out the case. Actually, we should probably make sure that the new ones fit. I had a bit of trouble trying to get this one out. This one was pretty stuck in there and ended up bending the tool, which is fine, we got it out. The issue is I received these with the Driveshaft and the third member rebuild as replacements to go here. So essentially they sit along this edge here. I'll slide this one down so you can see. This goes into the rear end and this sits on this part here, which then rotates on. So this here, much too small. So anyway, this axle from an 85 is much bigger than the 82 to also accommodate the limited slip. So bigger bearings, bigger race, and just overall stronger axle. So I'll have to go ahead and order these. That'll be in probably a couple days. I'll probably receive those. At least now we can install the third member, get that in there, clean out the case, and seal up either side so we don't get any dust in there going forward. But at least we can do something today. If you don't have a cat, you should probably get one, as these not only because cats are cool, but whenever your cat needs some new cat litter, you've got a nice bin to use at the shop. Now there's a couple spots there that need to be vacuumed again. This stuff was really stuck in there. As you can see in those little cracks over there as well. It's the stuff just does not come out very easily. I'm going to give it a full bath. I did notice some surface rust starting over here, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and put some of that metal prep on there. Let that sit for about 20 minutes and then wash it out. prep this surface and degrease. I got some oil on here, so we're going to degrease this. Lay some RTV on here for gaskets and set it in place. Got the bolts degreased and cleaned for the third member, all the wheel studs, plugs, and the, what are those called? The axle shield, that's what holds in the axle. So we're gonna assemble all this. I'm gonna paint all these silver on the backside. Just poke the head through on this piece here, and we'll go from there. And there you have it. It is assembled. Just need some brakes, brake calipers, brake lines. Still lots to do, but it's a huge milestone. I actually didn't think it was ever going to get put together. Clean up the old studs, put them back in as well. They're a little tough with this paint being in the crack there. Again, I have to take this back apart to put the wheel or the axle seals in. So it's not quite complete. It's complete enough to put away, start a new project. I think we're going to put the axle seals on once we mount this to the car. Probably a little easier to take the axles in and out. And a couple touch-ups of paint here and there. but I'm pretty impressed with how it turned out. We'll continue on the brakes, I think, in the next series, and get them mounted on here as well as the front suspension. Thanks for watching, guys. I had a great time building this differential. I'm so glad it's over. Now we can move on to the next project. We're going to be doing front suspension as well as the brake calipers. Hopefully I get the rear calipers done as well. I'm still looking for a few parts that are really hard to find, like the rubber seals on the sliders. If anybody knows where I can get some of those, please let me know in the comments below or get a hold of me, and I'll be sure to order them. Lots of work to do on the front suspension next week, and again, more polyurethane bushings, lower control arms, struts, the springs, tons. The work is endless. It's going to be a great car when it's done. Thanks again for watching, guys. Hit the subscribe button, like, comment, get a hold of me. Let's get together this summer and go for a cruise. Take care.